Do you really understand how men think? Some attitudes that seem cold or distant may actually hide feelings that most women never notice. Stay until the end. Number 1. Men often show. Love more through actions than words. Many men were not raised to express feelings verbally in the same way women often do. Because of that, in many cases, they show love through practical actions. Working hard, solving problems, helping with responsibilities, protecting, or trying to make their partner's life easier. The problem is that many women expect words, emotional conversations, and clearer emotional demonstrations. And then a disconnect happens. He believes he is loving deeply through his actions, while she feels emotionally disconnected because she is missing verbal affection. Many men grew up hearing that showing vulnerability was a sign of weakness. So even when they love deeply, they may struggle to express it verbally. Practical application. Women. Pay attention to silent acts of care. Often, masculine love is hidden in practical details. Men. Learn that verbal affection and emotional communication also strengthen relationships. Number 2. Men generally process problems in silence. When many men face problems, pressure, or emotional stress, their natural tendency is to withdraw temporarily and process everything internally. This does not necessarily mean emotional distance from their partner. While many women release emotions by talking, men often do the opposite. They need silence to organize their thoughts. The problem is that this silence can easily be interpreted as emotional distance, lack of interest, or coldness, creating unnecessary conflict. Practical example. A man comes home stressed from work and becomes quieter than usual. In his mind, he's simply trying to deal with pressure. In her mind, he suddenly seems emotionally distant. Practical application. Women. Not every silence means lack of love. Men. Explain what is happening emotionally, so your silence is not misunderstood. Number 3. Men associate respect with love. For many men, emotional respect carries enormous weight in a relationship. Men deeply desire to feel admired, valued, trusted, and respected by their partner. Often, a man can endure many emotional difficulties if he still feels respected, but when he constantly feels criticized, diminished, or emotionally invalidated, his emotional connection starts weakening internally. While many women prioritize emotional connection, many men interpret respect as one of the strongest expressions of love. Practical application. Women. Be careful with constant criticism, humiliation, or comparisons. Men. Also, remember to emotionally value your partner, not only seek recognition. Number 4. Men often hide their insecurities. Many men appear emotionally strong on the outside while internally carrying fears, insecurities, doubts, and emotional struggles. From a young age, many were taught that they always needed to appear strong. Because of this, they often hide vulnerability and emotional pain. But masculine emotional silence is not always emotional absence. It is often difficulty expressing feelings. Practical example. A man may feel financially insufficient, emotionally insecure, or physically inadequate, but never speak about it because he fears appearing weak. Practical application. Women. Create a safe emotional environment where he can open up without fear of judgment. Men. Healthy vulnerability creates deeper emotional intimacy. Number 5. Men tend to focus more on solutions than emotions. When a woman shares an emotional problem, many men automatically switch into solution mode. They believe solving the issue is the best way to show care, protection, and love. In the male mind, finding a practical solution means reducing their partner's suffering as quickly as possible. The problem is that many women are not only looking for a quick solution, they want emotional connection first. They want to feel heard, understood, and emotionally supported before someone tries to fix the situation. This creates that classic conflict where she feels emotionally misunderstood while he feels he genuinely tried to help. Both leave the conversation frustrated without fully understanding why. Many men see emotions as something that should be solved in order to restore peace. Many women, however, see emotional sharing as an essential part of healing itself. Practical application. Men. Before solving, listen, validate emotions, and show empathy. Emotional presence is sometimes more valuable than immediate solutions. Women. Understand that his desire to solve the problem is often a sincere form of love and concern. When emotions and solutions work together, relationships grow much stronger. Number 6. Men need to feel useful in the relationship. Many men experience emotional fulfillment when they feel useful, important, and needed inside the relationship. This is not about control or superiority. It is about emotional purpose. Men often feel deeply connected when they believe they positively contribute to their partner's life. When a man feels that his presence truly matters, he usually becomes even more emotionally invested and responsible within the relationship. Practical example. Simple words like, "Thank you," "You helped me so much," or "I admire this about you" can emotionally impact a man far more deeply than many women realize. The problem is that some men spend years trying to prove their value only through what they do, instead of who they are emotionally. Over time, this can create silent emotional exhaustion. Additionally, when a man feels constantly criticized or unappreciated, he may slowly begin emotionally withdrawing from the relationship. Practical application. Women. Appreciation emotionally strengthens many men more than you may realize. Men. Usefulness should never replace emotional presence, affection, and emotional intimacy. Men also need to feel loved not only for what they provide, but for who they are. Number 7. Men connect deeply through emotional peace. Many men associate a healthy relationship with emotional peace. This does not mean avoiding difficult conversations, but rather avoiding constant emotional tension, pressure, and exhausting conflict. When the relationship becomes an environment where a man constantly expects criticism, confrontation, or emotional pressure, many men slowly begin emotionally shutting down. Contrary to what many people think, many men do not emotionally withdraw because they stopped loving, but because they feel emotionally exhausted and overwhelmed. Practical example. A man who comes home already expecting arguments, complaints, or emotional pressure may begin associating the relationship with stress instead of emotional comfort. This does not mean avoiding important conversations. It means learning how to communicate without turning everything into emotional warfare. Practical application. Women. Learn to approach conflicts with emotional balance and respect. Men. Do not use silence or distance as a permanent escape from problems. Strong relationships are not the ones without conflict, but the ones capable of creating peace even during difficulties. 8. Men observe. Actions more than words. While many women highly value verbal communication, many men pay enormous attention to daily actions. They observe consistency, behavior, respect, support, and emotional loyalty through everyday attitudes. This happens because many men believe actions reveal true intentions more clearly than words. Practical example: a woman may constantly say she supports her partner, but in small situations show disrespect, sarcasm, or public criticism. For him, those actions will emotionally outweigh the positive words. Men also deeply notice when they feel respected both publicly and privately. Small gestures of emotional respect strengthen masculine connection tremendously. At the same time, constant inconsistency slowly destroys emotional trust. Practical application. Men and women, consistency builds trust. What is spoken must align with daily behavior. Healthy relationships are built far more through repeated actions than occasional speeches. Number 9. Men take longer to open up emotionally. Many men take longer to develop deep emotional openness because they grew up hearing phrases like, "Men don't cry, be strong," or "don't show weakness." Over time, many learn to hide emotions, insecurities, and pain, even from the people they love most. Because of this, when a man truly opens up emotionally, it usually means real trust exists. He needs emotional safety before lowering the defenses he built throughout life. Practical example. Many men can easily talk about work, money, or routine, but completely freeze when talking about fear, insecurity, sadness, or emotional pain. The problem is that when men feel judged, mocked, or emotionally invalidated, they tend to close themselves off even more. Practical application. Women. Emotional patience is extremely important in this process. Men. Understand that healthy vulnerability does not weaken masculinity, it strengthens intimacy. The deepest emotional connections are built when both people feel safe enough to be emotionally honest. Number 10. Men also want to feel loved, not only needed. Many men spend most of their lives trying to be strong, responsible, dependable, and capable providers. But behind this posture exists a deep emotional need to feel loved for who they are, not only for what they provide. Many men unconsciously begin believing that their value only exists when they are producing, solving problems, or emotionally carrying the relationship. This creates silent emotional pressure, because deep inside, men also desire affection, emotional understanding, tenderness, admiration, and genuine connection. Practical example. Some men work excessively trying to demonstrate love through effort and provision, while internally feeling emotionally starved for simple affection, appreciation, and emotional warmth. The problem is that many men never learned how to ask for emotional care verbally, so they suffer quietly. Practical application. Women. Show love intentionally, clearly, and emotionally. Men. Allow yourselves to receive emotional love, not only validation through performance or responsibility. Strong men also need emotional care. Healthy relationships happen when both people feel emotionally loved, valued, and safe. Men and women naturally think differently emotionally. The problem is not the differences themselves, but the lack of understanding about those differences. When understanding increases, relationships stop feeling like emotional battles and start becoming emotional partnerships. If this video helped you better understand men in relationships, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to hear this message today.